Good. Next question. Who would like to take this very simple question? What is the difference between public sector bank and private sector bank? It's a very simple question. Hmm. How, not that we may not have so many points, but whatever points you want to tell, you should tell briefly and properly. Yes, Mohan, please tell us.
Sir, in public sector bank, the majority of the share is owned by the government. In the private sector, majority of the share is owned by the private sector. That is 15, more than 15%. It is called is public sector. More than 15% is public. It is less than 15%. It is private.
Then
And
any other?
what should be
Mohan.
end with the public limited? It is public limited and should be in case of companies. In case of the private limited, should end with the private limited.
Oh, name, that is right.
Yes,
name.
sir.
No. That is not necessary. Indian Bank is only Indian Bank. They do not put Indian Bank Public Limited.
In case of companies. Reliance
No,
Limited.
but here Federal Bank Limited or
Yes, sir.
South Indian Bank Limited. There they put it. Yeah, that is right. Then both are registered under the Banking Regulation Act only. And yeah, next, any other point you would like to add? Some more points about, but of course there are not very many big points and all, but whatever you want to speak, you can tell about public sector bank and private sector bank. Somebody is working in private sector bank. Ram Manogar, please tell us what is the difference between public sector.
I actually saw this point, sir, but I don't know. I'm not sure if this point is right. Public sector banks are governed by act passed by the parliament, while private sector banks are registered under the Indian Companies Act. I don't know if it is right.
Yes, correct. It's correct. That is correct.
Okay, sir.
Then
sir, it's nothing but nationalization means the bank which is present throughout the nation is called public. I think, sir.
No, but don't bring nationalization and all that. Simply say 51% and above shares are held by government.
Okay, sir.
That is a public sector. Banks which are not having like that are called private sector. That's correct. Now only next. Yeah.
In case of policy decision making, it is a easier process in public sector bank when compared to easier in private bank when compared to public sector bank.
How do you say so?
Because
how do you tell me? Because
in public sector bank the government involves, whereas in a private is private management, so they can interact and discuss and make a decision.
It can be decided by the board, sir.
By the board of directors.
Nothing much take disinvestment, sir. It's nothing but in private sector decisions can be made easily. In public sector, through some regulations can be.
You are using a wrong word. Disinvestment is a word that is used among, say, when government wants to sell its shares to public, that is called disinvestment. Public sector bank only.
Transfer of shares is easy in public sector, private sector.
So, madam, I think madam wanted to say about policy decision making, sir.
Yeah, policy decision making.
Internal policy decision making.
It takes a lot of efforts and time in the case of public sector banks, and they are 100% bound by what is directed to them by the government. But in the case of private sector banks, for example, they are supposed to do priority sector advances 40% of adjusted net bank credit. But if they don't do it, they can compensate by subscribing for priority sector bonds. There are some bonds offered by NABARD.
Lending certificates.
Priority sector. Yeah, tell me. Yeah.
Sir, private sector बैंक का main purpose profit earn करना होता है, public sector
this
बैंक
is
का
what
main
I
purpose
wanted you
public
to
को
tell.
serve करना होता है.
This is what I wanted to tell. Private sector banks are 100% oriented towards profit, plus while public sector are also desirous of profit, however keeping the social welfare objectives in mind as directed by government from time to time. So that is the point I was about to stress, and you told that. I think these points will do. And yeah, Aishwarya, you told the right point, but the private sector management alone has to decide. The board of directors will decide. Whereas in the case of banks, public sector banks, of course, they do have directors, and their directors will have to decide, taking into consideration the instructions received from the government. This is what it is. Good. Thank you. That's right. Good